From 14 News, this is Touchdown Live in the Huddle, sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers. There's more in store. Stop by today.
All right, welcome in, everybody. We are back. It's week 2 of year 3 of Touchdown Live in the Huddle. Week 1, Aaron, is in the books.
Yes.
So naturally, we turn the page to week 2, don't we?
That is correct. 1, 2 comes after 1. We got to do it that way. Yep. So here we go. We have a loaded slate of games with all 3 states now in action. Illinois, welcome in.
Yes, but this show, we do more than just talk about the schedule, my friend. We peel back the curtain on Tri-State football and get you a closer look at the players, coaches, and teams who make all the magic happen.
Yes, and coming up tonight, Max, we preview another Illinois squad. We talk about our game of the week. Tease, Illinois may be in there too. We also have to address this heat. Mercy, it is hot.
Yes, it is. But first, Aaron, we've got some Player of the Week business to take care of.
From 14 News, this is Touchdown Live, Player of the Week, sponsored by your Tri-State Ford dealers. There's more in store. Stop by today.
All right, Aaron, we had a stellar list of options to vote for in week 1. And before we officially announce the winner, I know we're going to delay it a little bit more. Let's give them all some love, Aaron. Memorial running back, first off, Dylan Kendrick. The Tigers won 37-6 over Jasper. And Kendrick was a big reason why, with 5 rushes for 62 yards and a touchdown, and also 5 catches for 103 yards and a touchdown. Next up, Owensboro Catholic quarterback Brady Atwell. The Aces signal caller was 14 for 27, passing for 207 yards. He also had 8 rushes for 75 yards and altogether had 6 total touchdowns, 4 passing and 2 rushing. The OC beat Apollo 50-13.
Yes, and nominee number 3, Pike Central tailback Grant Boyd. He had a big game for the Charge-NATO in their 35-zip shutout win over Clarksville. Boyd had 11 rushes for 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, and he also added 3 tackles on defense for good measure.
Yes. And finally, I had to emphasize it, finally our last nominee, Forest Park senior Tyler Fetter. Fetter, Aaron, he was better in the Rangers' 21-6 win over Princeton on Friday. Fetter toted the rock 24 times for 166 yards and all 3 Ranger touchdowns. Very solid performance. Yes. Now, before we get into our first winner, we've got to talk about what they get each week. Of course, it's not just bragging rights, Aaron, and the glory of stamping your name in history. No, that is all very cool, but they also get our Touchdown Live Player of the Week ball. You're going to have to stick around, maybe because I forgot to bring it out. You're going to have to stick around until next week when we deliver it to our Player of the Week winner to check it out. But our winner will get to cherish it as their own, frame it, put it in a glass case. Man, the choice is yours, Aaron.
Exactly. So we'll find out who gets that first football and all the glory here. The votes have been tallied, and our winner is...
Well, it's Dylan Kendrick. He is back, baby. After winning Player of the Week at the very end of last season, Kendrick picked up right where he left off last. We already talked about his stats, and you know the kid killed it out there. So get ready, Dylan. We'll come deliver the ball to you next week. And man, I can't wait to surprise you with what it looks like. Spoiler, like last year. And of course, we'll hear more about his big performance.
Yes, and congrats to Dylan. We can't wait to hear from him. He got our most votes this week, but fans, if you want to take your guy to take the prize next week, you just have to vote, 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 and vote again.
Yes, and the best part is you can do it anywhere, and all you need is the 14 Sports app. And if you don't have it already, you can scan that handy QR code on the screen right there to download it, or just search 14 Sports WFIE in your app store. Then click on the drop-down menu once you're on the app. On the upper left side of your screen, click on the Player of the Week tab. Each week, voting begins throughout the football season Monday at 6:30 p.m. and runs through Thursday. You can, of course, vote as many times as you want. We'll announce the winner, just like we did tonight on our In the Huddle show every Thursday. Now, coming up on In the Huddle, it's time for our Tri-State Insider segment. If you were wondering where Mitch has been, he'll be right here when we come back.
And you can't break down the plays without talking to the men who come up with them. We'll reveal our game of the week, and we'll hear from both coaches to let us know what to expect. Stick around.
Relive the biggest moments from Friday night's high school football games with Touchdown Live Turf Talk. We show you the top 5 plays of the week and break down who's going head-to-head in this week's biggest matchups. Touchdown Live Turf Talk, streaming every Tuesday on your favorite 14 News streaming device.
Welcome back to In the Huddle. If you're one of our returning viewers, you know exactly what time it is. I'm joined by the one and the only, there can only be one, Tri-State football insider, Mitch Carter. Welcome to the show, buddy.
Max, thanks for having me. As always, cannot believe it's already week 2. We are chugging right along here, ready to get started. Let's do it.
Yeah, I can't wait to say that all year long. Can't believe we're already in
I know.
week 2. Can't believe we're
3 and 4 and
It's
so
time.
on and so
It's
forth.
time.
It goes fast.
You'll get the drill. Next week, you'll say it with me. If you're new here, this is where we break down our Touchdown Live game of the week. Mitch, our resident football guy, crown him, folks. A state champ with Southridge, wow. Followed by a career up in Muncie with Ball State, again, wow. He'll help me break down our game of the week. We'll talk about key players and factors, and then, of course, finish up with Carter's calls. Right. Mitch, how'd we do last week?
1-0, both of us, baby. Let's go. Looking to extend to 2-0, but you know, you got to week by week. You know, we don't want to count our chickens before they hatch. That makes sense.
Yep. All right. Well, without further ado, let's get into our game of the week. Mitch, you got the honors this time.
Thank you. For week 2 of the 2024 football season, we're taking our talents up to Fort Branch. The Gibson Southern Titans will host the Mount Carmel Golden Aces.
That's right. The Titans coming off a win against non-con opponent Danville in week 1. They look to improve to week 2 as the Golden Aces will kick off their season with a tough contest against Coach Nick Hart.
Absolutely. We'll break down both teams, but let's start with the Titans.
Let's do it.
As you just mentioned, Max, Coach Hart and his guys coming off a week 1 win, and they are never a slouch. Last season, dropping a close semi-state L to Heritage Hills. I'll gladly put my money on the Titans, looking to come back with a force this season.
Yeah, but they did graduate several familiar faces from that squad, most notably quarterback Tanner Boyd and slotback Sean DeLong must both be replaced. So stepping in at quarterback, the junior, he got his first start in week 1, Zach Foster. He played receiver and safety the last 2 years. So head coach Nick Hart is excited to see what he can do now under center.
Yeah, and on the defensive side of that ball, that front 7 returns a lot of talent, including guys like Brody Clem. Actually played against his brother Corey when I was in school. Great player there. Looks like they share some of those same genes. Of course, looking for a hard-nosed team here per the usual. Nothing of note there for the Titans. They are always solid, always competitive, always tough.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we're looking forward to seeing Coach Hart lead his young man on Friday. But let's not ignore our talented team to the west. Mount Carmel is not one to play around with.
Never, ever. A state runner-up themselves just a season ago. I imagine they're hungry to kind of finish things up this year. Mount Carmel came up short against Gibson Southern when those two teams played in August of 2023, falling 21-14. While they're certainly happy Tanner Boyd is no longer with the Titans, they're certainly going to feel that graduation squeeze themselves. You know him, you love him. Quarterback Blaine Sisson signed to play football over at U of I, leaving a void in that offense there, Max.
Yeah, and I actually just talked to the Golden Aces on Monday, and I talked to Coach Michael Brewer. They've kind of got that classic quarterback competition, looking at 2 different guys. One throws the ball better, one's smoother with the handoff, so we'll just have to wait and see who's under center for them this season. Remember, though, this is a squad who can and will put up points on your head regularly. 40, 50, Mitch, do they do 60 points a game?
Constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, under the direction of Coach Brewer there, in that same breath, though, that defense went up against several high-level opponents on their way to the chip. They gave up a lot, but there were certain games where they held people to, 7 points or less. It happened all the time there. It's exactly the kind of squad you need against a team like the Titans, led by Coach Hart.
All right, there you have it. That's what we call the X's and O's. Looking at the tape, that can only mean one thing. Carter's call. Who you got, buddy?
So, you've got the Golden Aces here looking to start their season. They've still got those game 1 jitters. The Titans, of course, coming off a handy win there against Danville, also trying to build on their success of last year. Both teams looking to get to state. Both teams looking to finally capitalize there and win it. However, give me my Indiana schools all day, baby. Roll the Titans, no question about it. Give me Gibson Southern on Friday night, taking down the Golden Aces of Mount Carmel.
All right, I'm going to sprinkle in a little parody here. I'm going to go the Mount Carmel Golden Aces.
We'll see.
They sounded hungry about getting some revenge against the Titans this year. But, of course, I have to always put in the caveat, What do I know? You're the expert here.
Hardly. Hey,
So-
you know, the best thing about high school ball is anything can happen on Friday night.
Yep.
I could be 1-1. You could be 1-1. I'm probably going to be 2-0, but we'll see. We'll check it out.
Well, the hope is that you're 2-0 because then it proves exactly what we're talking about. The Tri-State Insider himself. We're looking forward to seeing that matchup come Friday night. Always love talking ball with Mitch. He will be back later in the show. Now, we do talk a lot about the plays on the field, but we want to see those booming student sections too. And this week, we've made it even easier to send it in. Take a video of your student section, show us everything you've got, cheer hard for your school, then go to the 14 Sports app or 14news.com and head to the Send Us Your Videos and Pictures tab. It's that easy, so let's see you guys get wild in those stands. All right, now, Aaron, it's week 1 for our Illinois schools, as we talked about. We previewed Mount Carmel and Fairfield earlier this week. Check those out on 14news.com. You've got another one for us, though, Aaron, don't you?
Yes, I sure do. We made the trip to Carmi today to check in on the Bulldogs before their first game of the season. Last year, Carmi had a solid season going 7-3, but they did graduate 4 of their 5 starters on the offensive and defensive fronts. So becoming stable and solid up front is paramount if the Dogs want to have another successful year.
That's our big concern. Guys being able to step in and stymie the line of scrimmage defensively, get a yard deep, find the football, and just not get shoved around. So that'd be a big challenge for us, but we feel like we do have a veteran backfield, so to speak. We got some good running backs, and so we'll see what happens. But that's our big concern right now is the young guys up front.
Now, Coach Simon has been head coach there at Carmi for a long time, so he's seen a lot of kids come through his program, and he tells us he really enjoys this particular team so ffar.
We're going to be pretty inexperienced. I mean, we dropped a lot of guys, to graduation last year. And our numbers at the sophomore, juniors, and seniors are not great, but we got tough kids, and we've been playing both ways in Carmi for years. So it's obviously a little bit different at the beginning of the year when it's 100 degrees, but it's 100 degrees for them as well. My hats are off to our kids because over the years they're an easy group to coach. They listen well, they work hard. We feel like they're year in and year out. We play as hard as anybody we line up with, so that's 90% of it, and then getting them to think they can get it done.
Carmi will host Flora tomorrow at 7 o'clock. There's a few games over there in Illinois.
Oh, yes, we'll talk about those later, but first, coming up on In the Huddle, don't go anywhere. We've got the coaches heading up both sides of our game of the week. We went out and talked to them this week. We'll dig into their game plans when we come back.
Plus, Max hit the road this time to learn more about a local player in the red zone.
Welcome back in. We've got our game of the week all figured out, so it's time we hear from those coaches.
Yes, and our game of the week is Gibson Southern hosting Mount Carmel. Let's start on the Titans side.
Yeah, last week Gibson Southern got a win over Danville to start off on the right foot. Now they turn their attention to a team they defeated last season in the Golden Aces.
Yeah.
But Mount Carmel has a new look on offense this year with Blaine Sisson graduating, which leaves the prep for the Titans a bit up in the air.
We don't know what our approach is on defense, to be honest. They didn't play last week. I think they're doing something a little different offensively. We're not really sure what that is because we don't have any film of them since they haven't played. So, we got some educated guessing going on out here, and then we're going to have to adjust on the fly on Friday night, to what's going on. You follow your rules, you play physical, you play fast, that can kind of take care of itself.
Over to the Golden Aces now. It's game 1 of the season for them, and they've got lots of roster turnover as well. So head coach Michael Brewer knows they need to play the game right and key in on the fundamentals.
Offense, defense, we got to execute. We have, again, like I talked about, we have a young team. We have guys that do not have a lot of varsity football experience, so we have to do things the right way. And if we're outmanned in a spot for a play or whatever, so be it. But we have to do the right thing. We have to shorten the game and limit big plays. We got to limit their big plays. They go fast. They're excellent on offense, so we just have to cut down big plays that they get, and we have to take care of the football, and those two kind of go hand in hand for us.
Our game of the week will be Gibson Southern with Mount Carmel, and the kickoff for that is 7 o'clock. Oh, that's going to be a fun one.
Oh, it will be. That's why we picked it, right? I'll be live there pregame with some previews and, of course, checking out the vibes, how we're looking over at Gibson Southern High School. All right, next up, of course, we head over, I told you he'd be back, to nobody else but the Mitchell Carter. He's at the Telestrator with some big plays to break down.
Welcome back in. We've now got week 1 under our belts, and the fun can really begin as far as breaking down highlights goes. Let's jump right into it here. Starting off, we've got an SIAC matchup back up in my neck of the woods up in DuBois County. Memorial Tigers heading into Jasper Wildcat territory. In the first quarter, we're looking at the triple option here. So break this down for you at home. We've got 2 running backs right here, right? And our quarterback right here in the shotgun, kind of a pistol formation. What he's doing here is a triple option, right? So immediately he's going to take the snap, and he's going to have this running back run right in front of his face. He's watching this D end over here that's just outside of your frame. So he's watching him to see if I take the snap and I look, if this defensive end comes down toward the line and follows the running back, I'll pull it, take it with me. If he doesn't, easy handoff, that's your first read, right? Spoiler alert, he doesn't. He crashes down on the running back, so they'll pull the ball with him. These two then take the ball after the snap and run on their own out here. The quarterback then reading the first guy he sees. If he plays the quarterback, pitched out to the running back. He plays the running back, quarterback keeps it. Textbook, classic running play here. Let's go ahead and roll it and watch how this shakes out. About loses our cameraman with that first pitch. It's out though. You know him, you love him. That's Memorial's Dylan Kendrick. High effort blocking there, and no one will touch him all the way home in the end zone for a 43-yard touchdown. Smooth as butter. Classic option there, making it 10-0 Memorial. The Tigers go on and slash the Wildcats 37-6. That play indicative of how the rest of that game went there. Now, the first installment up next year of the city-county rivalry games, it's Owensboro Catholic taking on Apollo. The Aces finished as Kentucky's Class 2A state runner-up last year. They still have a lot of that team back here. First play from scrimmage, let's go ahead and roll it here. Here's Brady Atwell, big number 7 under center, calls his own number. We'll stop right here. Now, he's caught up in the muck here a little bit right there, but of course, number 7 is big, and he's shifted. Let's go ahead and roll it here. Watch him here. I'll actually slow it down for you as he leaps over a defender in slow motion. 7 is shifty. Good balance there, keeps his feet. You see it all season last year. He's back for his senior campaign with a vengeance. Takes a slew of Eagles to bring him down to the 22. His first play from scrimmage, a 41-yard run to start the season. Of course, they would go on to thrash Apollo and look for a lot more of that from the Aces this year. I'll clear this out really quick. We'll move on here. And finally, let's get right to our game of the week over at Bundrant Stadium. It's an early SIAC battle as North played host to Castle. Jumping in right here, let's stop it right there, right? Let's keep it on this. They're trying to get a screen rolling here. We're 9 seconds in the first quarter left. Still no score. 3rd and 6, right? The running back here, you can barely see him. It's kind of zoomed in a little bit there. Gets caught up on a D lineman here. And despite all these green hats ready to go, letting guys go through to try and catch that screen, it's a disaster. I'm talking DISASTER. You know what it means. Let's go ahead and roll it here. Quarterback trying to find number 1, but here comes Gavin Leach, that linebacker. Yoink will have those with us, taking it all the way down. Max Parker shot this video for us, has to get on the field to catch him. He's cruising. Of course, Castle, that kind of play right there in the first quarter can turn the tide entirely. Makes it 7-0, and they would go on to hang on, squeaking out a really, really close Week 1 dub on the road to kick their season off against longtime rivals, North High School. That's all we've got for Week 1 here, but stick around. We're coming back in the coming weeks here with even more plays from your favorite parts of the season.
All right, thanks, Mitch. Always love it. Next on In the Huddle, we head into the red zone for some rapid-fire questions with a local player.
And we'll break down the schedules for the other games in our area as we get ready for the most wonderful time of the year when those cleats are out on the gridiron. We are Mac, but no Max to be found. That's because, though, he has found his guy over at North Posey High School, so let's head into the red zone.
Welcome back out. We are here for another episode of Red Zone. Today we are at North Posey. What have I got here?
Ty Mock.
All right, Ty, are you ready? I'm going to put you through a gauntlet here, buddy. 60 seconds, as many questions as you can. This is going to be a challenge for both you and me. I'm going to try and remember as many questions because I heard you're pretty quick. I'm talking you up here. Do you think you can take it?
We'll see.
I'm going to start you off with some easy ones, and then we'll warm up. All right, here we go. What year are you?
2025.
Position.
Running back.
All right, now we're going to switch it up. If you could either, you have to choose one of these. Cheeto dust on your fingers for the rest of your life or never play football.
Cheeto dust, I guess.
Cheeto dust, okay. Let's follow up. Broccoli stem in your teeth for the rest of your life or Cheeto dust?
Cheeto dust.
Wow, this guy likes Cheetos. Okay, if you could only have one thing, one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pork tenderloin.
Why?
Delicious.
What's the best pork tenderloin you've ever had?
My dad's.
Your dad's? What's his name?
Corey Mock.
Sounds like a good guy. Good pork tenderloin. What's your favorite TV show of all time? Hurry. Hurry.
I'm drawing a blank here.
All right, we'll move on. What's your favorite song of all time?
Heathens.
Heathens. I don't know that. What's the favorite thing coach has ever said to you?
Protect the brand.
Protect the brand. What's your favorite football cliche? Like pound the rock or that's time, but we're gonna get this one. Pound the rock, rush the passer. What's your favorite?
Rush the passer.
Rush the passer is a good one. But you're a running back. It is because I said it. You need to think of your own. We're finishing this out.
Block the kick.
Block the kick. That's a pretty good one. I like that. All right. Thank you so much. You did great. We got a lot of questions in. We'll have to count them up later. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
All right, had fun with that one, Aaron. Tough to get those questions in, man, but Ty killed it out there. Now, that only leaves one thing, Aaron. We got to peek at our schedule, but first we got to talk about that heat. We mentioned at the top. Yeah. I had to figure out kind of what our absolute max is. Heat index of 104 and no plan. You'll push it back. So, hopefully, now I'm no Jeff Lyons, but I did talk to him earlier. Jeff was saying hopefully the cloud cover comes in early enough to bring those temperatures down. I don't know how Jeff does it, man. He's a wizard. But
there's a chance of rain tomorrow,
so
we'll see what happens.
There is. But for more on that, you got to listen to 14 News tonight at 10 to get Jeff's full weather report. All right, well, so with the caveat that things could get potentially pushed back because of heat, we don't know. Aaron, tell us about some of the games you're watching out for.
All right, well, first up, Central at Boise. Both those teams lost the first week. They were both kind of lopsided, so we'll see how that one plays out. It should be a very competitive game, though. That's a 6:30 kick. And then a doozy at the Wrights Bowl. Castle at Mater Dei, also a 6:30 kick. That should be fun. Up in Jasper, Harrison will make the road trip up to Du Bois County for a 6:30 kick. And another good one here at Bundred Stadium. North will host Memorial. Max was there last week. We'll see what happens this week. Over in Illinois, El Dorado will head to Edwards County, the week 1 opener for both of them. And in North Posey, they will host Princeton. Timok and the boys taking on the Tigers.
All right, in Mount Vernon, the Wildcats are hosting the Forest Park Rangers. 3-1, 3-1, that's the wrong board. Nope, I have the wrong schedule, so we'll just move ahead, skip that. Sorry about that. We got to go to Kentucky, though, for some of these other matchups. And you know what? We're just going to exit out of these. I thought I saved them correctly, but I did not. So disregard everything you're seeing on screen. Sometimes, you know, we said it a few times over in last week's Touchdown Live. Still a little bit here in preseason form, so we'll work those out. I thought I had them in there somewhere, but hey, you can check everything we've got on tap tomorrow night on Touchdown Live, and then Touchdown Live Plus. We've got plenty of highlights across the board. But for now, that'll do it, Aaron. Thank you all so much for watching our Touchdown Live in the Huddle pregame show. We'll be back each Thursday night at 7 o'clock to preview teams and talk to players across the tri-state, Aaron.
That is right. Of course, this would not have been possible without our entire production crew and marketing team. Great job by all of them. Thanks to all the work they've done to make this happen.
Yep, and again, as I mentioned, can't say it enough, though. For highlights of all your favorite games, be sure to join us back here for our Touchdown Live show tomorrow night and every Friday night on our 14 Sports app at 10:35. And then, of course, we'll feature a longer extended version at 14 News at 10. We'll see you there.
Yep.